Claire Muldoon. Too late for you, so it is.
It's it. Story of my life.
And social commentator, journalist and PR person Helen Croydon, who has vowed to stay unmarried, Helen, and child-free for the rest of your life as a choice.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. I've always... Well, let's take... There's two things, there isn't. There's the being married and then there's the children. So take the children. I just never wanted that. I always knew that, you know, I would just look at all that picture, the family paraphernalia, families having picnics, school, you know, birthday parties with all the goodie bags, and it just seemed to me like a big hassle. So, and as I got older, I just kind of thought, well, maybe that day will come one day when actually suddenly I want them. But that day never came. And then I think when I got into my 30s, I thought, OK, I'm going to take ownership of this feeling and I'm going to actually say, no, I don't want them.
And what's the reaction when you say? Because often people do that, well, you say that now, Helen.
I did get that.
You say that
I got that a lot. So all through my 30s, I think people thought I was going to change my mind, which I found really patronising. Now I'm in my 40s, early 40s, I should say, to qualify. I think people that know me anyway know enough about my views, and I've vocalised it so much that, OK, yeah, no, Helen's got full enough life. I keep myself busy doing all sorts of hobbies. So they respect that. But however, people who meet me now, I still get that residual stigma. And interestingly, I'm in a...
People assume that maybe you wanted them and you couldn't have them.
Yeah, or that there's still time. And interestingly, I'm in a relationship now. I'm not married, don't live together, still don't want that kind of conventional, you know, do everything together type relationship. But I'm in a committed, loving relationship. And interestingly, so he's already got children, so we don't want them. But some of his friends often say to him, are you sure she doesn't? Oh, they all say that, you know, but maybe she doesn't. As if I might be...
And Claire, there's no going back for you, but I mean, you respect Helen's right?
Well, absolutely, and Helen has proven Dolan's report from the LSE that was published last week. But, you know, I think we need to take accountability of our own happiness. We can't rely on the fact that we're childless, we're with children, we're married, or we're not, to make ourselves happy. We need to do that ourselves. And I don't think, as a society, we put enough emphasis and security on the family environment, or having children, or the stay-at-home parent as it is now, because often fathers don't work, they would become house husbands, or the mother stay at home. There's no rhyme nor reason for that. But the interesting thing about the report for me was the fact that men, Eamon, are happier in the married situation more than women are.
Why do you think that is?
Because I think, well, who brings men up traditionally is women. Yeah. We do everything for you.
It's a very good point, Claire.
Exactly.
Do you think that's true? That men
well, darling, when I met you, what was the
relationship?
thing that attracted me most to you?
It was like your mother.
Yes. And
keeping a
what were you
house.
wearing? People think it was tight jeans or short skirts.
I was wearing a pair of marigold gloves and was cleaning my house.
And therefore, there was that attraction that she was going to look after me.
To domesticity, to security, to look after, to nurture. All these emotions, all these virtues, all these, you know, things that make a family, that make a home.
But is that not the very thing, Helen, that makes you go, ugh?
Yeah, and I think, you know, if we're playing the gender stereotyping here, I think there is very much a sense that when women are single, all the single women that I know, and I was happily single for 10 years, other than dating, I found that I really took ownership of my life. I started hobbies, you know, ate really healthily, got out there, created a really close network of female friends. Women tend to do that. They tend to thrive when they're single. If they're of a certain, you know, personality. Men
Helen,
tend to go into themselves.
Yeah, I would give you that each and every time. And Claire, you would have to admit, if you were in Helen's situation, or if I was in Helen's situation, we'd be wealthier, we'd be more selfish. I say that in a good way. You would be more self-centred.
Selfish can never be in a good way.
Can it not?
No.
I mean, looking after yourself, loving yourself, caring for yourself, having time for yourself, what you want to eat, what you want to watch, where you want to go on holiday.
Here.
No, but I'm saying children...
I think Ruth does all that.
No, but children make the difference, is what I'm saying. And what Helen said she had, which is, you don't decide where you go on holiday. You don't decide what film you go to watch at the movies. You don't decide what you eat in the restaurant. They decide all the time.
Yeah, but I don't mind that about children, because your life does change.
It does change.
If you think you're going to have children and it doesn't, I think you're pretty
But it has to change.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's interesting you say that. So I think, you know, obviously, you've just articulated it really well. Children make you happy. Your 4 children obviously make you very happy. So we can't...
but I'm not happy because of my children.
No, but what I want to say is not having children isn't what's made me happy. I think it's just that I've taken ownership of that feeling that I've never wanted them. Now, I think probably the majority of women do, and it's great because we've all got to procreate, right? But what I would say is there is a massively underestimated number of women out there and men for whom children don't suit their wants and their lifestyle. But I think because there is a bit of a pressure,
they feel they should.
Massively, and I think I've got some friends who have children and they love their children, but they have confided in me in a very delicate way that had they known now did they know then what they know now, they may not have had them.
Helen,
Do you think that...
what I would say, Helen, is I totally respect your point of view, and I think happiness is what you find, and if you find it like that, great. But I would say now, although it is tough, Claire, bringing up kids, and we all know that, I am at my happiest now. I didn't know it would be like this, but every time I'm in the company of my children, I am at my happiest.
I'm exactly the same. And when you see the fruits of your labour, literally, growing up, my eldest will be graduating at the end of June. My other daughter's already at university as well. We're going through GCSEs at the minute. My youngest is 15. He'll be doing his GCSEs next year. I'm going through a master's at the minute. But when we're all together, the dynamic is so good that we thrive off one another. But that goes back to my point as well, not because I'm a mother of 4, but because that is my personality to be that way in any event. But also, we are humans. And human beings, by nature, need other human beings. We're sociable animals.
Yeah, you know what? I think if I could just have children... No, but you know what I have to say? I think if I could just give birth to teenagers or young mini adults and have all the history already ingrained in, I'd be totally up for it. I think it's great.
What about nieces and nephews, or people? You become everybody's... I didn't have Jack till I was in my 40s, and I became everybody's favourite auntie, and everyone was the godmother.
That's a very important role.
It is, but then I felt a little bit, it was a bit like, oh, well, she probably won't have any of her own, bless her, so maybe
Till she finds her knight in shining armour.
Till I found my knight in shining armour.
People assume I don't like them. I want that to happen. Like, I love my niece and nephew. And actually, my partner has 3 teenage daughters, and I really love spending time with them. It gives me an insight into this teenage world that I didn't know about before, and it keeps me young, keeps me knowing what's going on Instagram and Snapchat. But God, totally forgot.
It still doesn't make you think I wanted them.
No, what I was going to say, about the being the favourite niece and nephew. People assume that because I don't want them, I don't like them. So no one's asked me to be a godparent. I'm quite offended, actually, because I do like them. But
you don't
people
want
make
people
that
to
assumption
feel,
that you're cold-hearted, you don't want anything
sorry
to do with
for
them.
you.
I love spending time with children for a limited time, but then, I don't want all the being up in the night, giving night nurse and...
That must be the best bits about being a grandparent.
What are you looking at me for?
No, I'm saying, but you've got
you know something about Caitlin that I don't?
No, I was just saying that must be something to look forward to, because as a grandparent, I suppose you can be with them and then hand them back, can't you?
I suppose.
Yeah.
She's worried now.
I'm bloody worried.
You're probably going to be a grandfather before she's a
but it's going to
grandmother.
come to our doorsteps in the next few years, isn't it?
It is. I actually look forward to that.
Do you know, one of my friends, actually, his son had a baby and he's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. And, we've got this cheeky glint in our eye that, we'll give them chocolate when the mum's not looking or something like that. You do get away with a lot more. And then the aspect of handing them back.
OK.
I don't think I would hand them back.
Well, thank you, Claire and Helen.
Thank you.